Hi there, this is Stephanie from Fork and Knife Teacher, and I'm going to talk with you about my baking end of term exam. So this is my grade 11 exam, and I wanted to tell you some of the key points that I like to put in my exams for my students to make it, I think, more easier for them to understand what I'm asking them to do. So what I like to use is pictures. I like to use a lot of pictures, things that I've already been using in a classroom all semester to help them with that recall. So like this example, this first page is my dishwashing posters. I have this poster kind of broken up in my 3-sink dishwashing section. And what I'm asking for the students, and I've bolded it, and I've also put it in columns to help organize it for them where I want them to write. So on the left side is identifying each stage of the dishwashing process. And on the right side, again in bold, I've said describe each stage. So, and describing involves like what the temperature of water, things that are added, stuff like that. So, and I ask them to go through that dishwashing process and kind of describe it in detail, using that the pictures as like a recall tool. And that's one of the things I find pictures and bolding and also making compartments help them understand maybe the amount of information that I'm expecting from them, right? And something to kind of reference back to. The next section is knife safety. So again, I've used a knife just for them to help visualize and recall that information about how they're supposed to carry the knife, or how I've said I want them to carry the knife properly in my classroom. So then you'll see on the next page here as well, again, I have pictures at the top of hand washing, and I'm breaking up the exam by color. I'm using a really light gray to kind of show them where the new sections are, and then also bolding the main points. So 3 mixing methods in the next section on quick breads and mixing methods. If there's like a 2-part to it, again, I want the mixing method and I want the fat that is used on each mixing method here. I'll, divide it, but show that it's still related. So these are things that I talk about and I go through before the exam. Actually, I read through the questions and I identify the sections to my students because they just will rush through it. And I want them to kind of slow down. And so before I actually give the exam out, because if I give the exam out, they're flipping through that exam while I'm talking, right? So before I give it out, I'm standing at the front. And either PowerPoint, I could do that. I haven't done that yet. I've always had the like paper exam, and I just tell them this is the next section, and then I read through the questions. This next section is on pie crusts, and they can see that there's a pie, and I want the 3 different types of pie crusts. And then I want you to give me 1 point or fact about each pie crust. It's bolded, it's underlined. It is in a table. There's a picture, right? Like I want them to be clear. I want it to be clear to them what I am asking them to give the information, right? If they don't have it, okay, that's another problem. But I don't want them to go away from the exam going, well, what did she want from me? What was I supposed to put down there? I want it to be clear to them. So this is how I go about writing my exam. And like I said, what I do is I talk through it, and then I give them some exam protocol lessons because they don't know where I live. They don't know how to act in an exam, and how to ask questions without kind of asking me to just give them the answers. This one is labeling the table, place setting. And then the last one here is kitchen equipment. So they have to identify kitchen equipment. All right, so that is my grade 11 baking exam. This is Stephanie from Fork and Knife Teacher, and I don't know, I hope that was helpful. I hope that's helpful for you writing your exams, that you can use some of these tips and tricks and kind of make it students successful.